Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel we do not strive for perfection. We are here to have fun with our makeup, and we're all about real makeup for real life and real people. So today is a project pan get ready with me, as you would have seen from the title, and I'm excited to do this one today. Of course, we did create this look right here, and I just really enjoy doing these videos. If you're not familiar, my girl Angela from Beauty and Life with Angela, who will be linked down below, we have a project that we are doing together this year, a panning project, and that is to hit 21 pans in the year of 2021. I believe I currently have 5 pans, so I have a ways to go, but the main thing is that I am back to project panning. I'm focusing on products in my collection, and I'm actually having fun while I do it. So to me, that's a win no matter how many pans I hit this year. But we only update our project every other month. And that way we have some nice juicy updates for you when we do update. And then on the opposite months, we also do a project pan get ready with me, and that's what we're doing today. So if you want to see how I created this look, here's some thoughts on some of my project pan products, or some tips on how I use things and work smart instead of hard, then just stay tuned because we're going to get into it right now. All right, let's put makeup on the face, shall we? I'm gonna start off with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I'm very excited that I've noticed some windows in here starting this week, and that was not previously a thing. It was definitely not showing any signs of use. I'm just putting a little bit of this to show through my foundation-y product that I'm going to apply today. And I just try to use this as much as possible. Sometimes I use it under makeup, sometimes I use it over makeup. And also going to use a little bit of my Ulta Beauty Mattifying face primer. This is not a favorite of mine, and this is in my Partners in Cream project, as is the Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm thinking we get to do kind of like a quarterly refresh. And I didn't refresh anything the first quarter, but I think at the next quarterly refresh, which I believe will be in July, I'm going to roll this out, declutter it, and roll something else in. Just because this is just not my favorite at all. I don't like these types of primer. It's like really silicone-y, and that's not really it. I just don't feel like it really does anything for my base products, so why? You know, somebody else might like it. I might get to pass it on to someone. If it's a cream product today and I forget to mention it, you can probably guess that it is in Partners in Cream. And this one is the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done Hybrid Complexion Perfector, and I have this shade Medium Light. I have decided, again, that the best way I like to apply this is with my fingers, as with most more sheer base products. I tried applying it with a sponge, and I didn't really love it, and then I think I tried a brush, and I should have just known. I prefer all sheer base products to be applied with my fingers, and then go in with a sponge and sort of make sure things are blended and, you know, pick up any excess, that kind of thing. Press it into the skin so that it looks more like skin. So how are you guys? How are any of your projects going? I'm really enjoying project panning this year, and I don't know, I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying the projects that I'm in. Some give quite a bit more flexibility than others, and I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's almost like a little game, if you will, to sort of pair products together to help get the best use out of those products that you're panning. Now we're going to go into my concealer that I'm panning. This is the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer, again in my Partners in Cream project. I do believe that this is the oldest concealer in my collection currently, so I'm glad to have this in Partners in Cream. I have finished one concealer so far this year, and I'm very excited about that. If you missed it, it was my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away concealer. It took a lot longer actually than I thought it would, which I think kind of is pretty standard when panning concealers. Sometimes it can be like, wow, I thought I had way less product to use up. But this one already has, like I said, windows in it, and I'm kind of excited about that. So I feel like I have a good chance of using it up in a good amount of time. And I do like this concealer. It's not that I necessarily don't want to have it in my collection anymore. It's more just that I'm trying to make good use of my products. And over the last year or so, I've really acquired a lot of concealers. So I definitely want to make good use out of them, and I still shop my stash for concealers, so it's not like I'm only using this one concealer. I just love this concealer though. I'm very curious if any of you are still making use of this concealer. It was the rage, like all the rage for a while there, and now I never hear anybody talk about it. So all right, next, Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand in the shade Fair Medium. I'm enjoying the heck out of this. I hate, you know, how deceiving the packaging is, how little product you receive in this, but I am enjoying using this every single day. That's always a good thing, you know? I think that's a key point in project panning, is that you should enjoy the products that you're panning. I think the times where I had the least amount of success in project panning was because I was panning things I didn't like. And just like the primer, the matte primer that I said that I'd like to roll out, I plan to, because not only do I not care for it, it's not my favorite product, but at the same time, it doesn't do anything for me. You know, if it's just something that maybe isn't my favorite, I might consider just using it up if it did something for me and it's just not a favorite. But it also doesn't do anything for me in terms of, you know, actually mattifying my skin too much. And of course, with summer coming and the fact that, you know, my skin gets older all the time, I'll be 40 in January, I don't need any extra layers on my skin, you know what I'm saying? I need less layers. Beep, beep. All right, whilst waiting for the garbage truck to go by, I just added a little bit of the e.l.f. Ride or Die lip balm in the shade Tough Cookie, not in a project, just needed to moisturize my lips. For powder, I am working on my number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Translucent Setting Powder. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this on my ring finger and set my under eyes. This is how I prefer to set my under eyes, with a little bit of powder on my finger. And I find if I start on the outer part of the under eye and work my way in, I never get too much powder, but it does set my concealer and keep it in place. And I really love that about this powder. And then I'm just going to put some of this lightly on the rest of my face, just kind of setting mostly the T-zone area. All right, so I have 2 other bronzers in my projects right now. I have the Balm Take Home the Bronze in the shade Oliver, and my Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer in the shade Park Ave Princess. So I'm gonna take the Take Home the Bronze on a little bit smaller of a brush than what I'm going to use for the more luminous bronzer. This one is completely matte and really honestly goes so much further than I thought it would. This is one of those products that I was like, really? I haven't hit pan on this yet? Like, this has been in my project since the beginning of the year. So I'm surprised I haven't seen more progress in it. So this is not super duper warm on my skin right now, although it looks warmer in the camera. It's, you know, a little cooler tone, so I kind of use this kind of as a bronzer. And then I just go back in when I'm done with this one and use the Tarte one, which is a little bit more, well, luminous, but also a lot more warm. But I do use this Take Home the Bronze nearly every single day in my routine, especially to go under the chins, multiple, and down the neck. Today's gonna be a fun day to film. I can already tell it. All right, so I already had pan in this before, but I am working on finishing this because I do want to finish one product in each category this year. But, you know, like I said, I already had pan on this, so this won't count as one of my 21 pans for this year until I finish it. But I do love this shade for warming up the skin. This is one of my bestie Jess's favorite bronzers of all time until I turned her on to the Hourglass bronzers. I'm sorry, Jess. If I had to compare it to something, I would say that it's kind of similar to the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It, and it's kind of soft. It's pretty hard to mess up, if I'm being frank. For blush, I think I'm going to combine my two cream blushes that I'm panning today. So the first cream blush that I am working on hitting pan on is this one from MAC. It's the Glow Play blush in the shade So Natural. I'm gonna put this on as a nice little neutral base blush, so to speak. I love this blush because it really does go with nearly anything. And I love to layer over this blush, kind of like I like to layer over the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Pinched, because it's very neutral. It mixes well, you know, or layers well with other blush. This is how I feel about this one. No signs of pan on that one, though I do have a nice little dip in there. And then, just for a little something extra, I have my Basic Beauty Jelly Blush in the shade It's October 3rd. Good amount of pan in there. I'm going to take a smaller stippling brush, pick up some product, and just focus this right on the apples and kind of fade it into the MAC blush. I just love a pop of pink on the apples of the cheek. So I do love how these two particular shades layer together. And then I also do have, I think it's just one powdered cheek powder blush that I'm panning, and it is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Party, the mini that everybody and their grandma got as a birthday gift from Sephora one year. And I do really like that shade, which is kind of why I picked it. And then every month in my Shop My Stash, I shop for other blushes that I think would pair nicely with this one or the MAC one. And that's one of the ways that I get the most out of my collection, as well as the products that I'm panning, is by layering, basically. So, but I do feel like we need highlighter. Okay, so the highlighter I'm working on panning right now is my BECCA Opal. If you missed it, I did do a video trying to dupe BECCA Opal, and I do feel like I did, and in case you missed that video, I'll have it linked below for you. But I am just enjoying this highlighter so much more than I ever thought I did in the past. So I'm just enjoying the heck out of it. And then this will be my empty highlighter for the year. All right, that is complexion done. I'm gonna pop off of here really quickly, do some eyeshadow primer and my brows, none of which are in project pans, and then I will come back and we will get right into eyeshadow. All right, we are back and we are ready for eyeshadow. I have sort of three little eyeshadow situations going on here. My Charlotte Tilbury Luxury Eyeshadow Quad in the shade Pillow Talk. I have my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and I have 2 singles in this Sydney Grace palette that are from Beauty Junkies. It is Vanilla Freeze and Tiki Shed, and that's where we're gonna start. I have been using a new eyeshadow primer, which I know I've mentioned. It is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer. Finally found something that's going to stand up to the heat of summer, I think. So I'm gonna go first into Vanilla Freeze, because I do find that this primer, I feel like I have a better time with eyeshadows if I just lightly set it. And then just to kind of lightly contour my eyes, I'm gonna go into Tiki Shed with my favorite fluffy brush from Delium Tools. Kind of tip my head back, and I really just want to get this right in the socket before I start going in with warmer colors, just to, you can see, kind of deepen that shadow of the crease. I think that makes a nice difference, and I do sometimes just wear this brown shadow like all over the lid and up into the crease in transition for an easy eye look as well. Then we're gonna go into my Charlotte Tilbury quad here. I think the shade I'll end up hitting pan on is this one right here, the little shimmer. But I'm gonna go into first this pink shade with the same brush that we used with Tiki Shed from Beauty Junkies, and just kind of blend along the edges before we add the warmer brown matte. I don't really want it to look pink, but I do want to blend out that sort of contoury shade, just like that. Nothing crazy. The pink is not too like pigmented or anything like that. Next, we're going to go into this beautiful, warm, kind of a rosy brown actually. And I'm going to keep going with this same brush and start adding some warmth. I'm very excited. My mama, who still lives in Nebraska, will be here tomorrow, like late tomorrow. My hubby gets home from a work trip today, and then tomorrow morning early he is leaving to drive back to Nebraska, which is like 7 or 8 hours for us from Colorado, and he's going to leave super early, grab my mama, bring her back. And then we'll have Friday to get things done, and then graduation will be Saturday. Again, like I said, you know, that will all be past by the time you see this video, but just so you know. I'm also gonna take a flat definer brush here and go ahead and put some of that same brown along the lower lash line, but really close. All right, and then I feel like I want to go a little bit deeper in the crease and whatnot with that same brown shade. Kind of first put this on the outer part of the lid and then work it up into the crease. I don't know who I am today, using a mirror in a palette and a small mirror to boot. But here I am. Let's first go into this shade, which is Bless Her Heart. So I'm gonna go into that green first. We're gonna put this on the very outer part of the lid, kind of blend it with the outer lid color, that brown. Bless Her Heart is definitely another favorite shade in this palette. Luscious, the shade that I'm working on panning, is a favorite. There's a lot of favorites in this palette. I could see, you know, bringing this back in at some point, because once I do hit pan on Luscious, I will roll it out of 21 pans in 2021, just because I would like to have more pans in more palettes. And so I think it'd be fun to roll this one out for a while, but I could definitely see rolling it back in at some point and working on other shades. But I also want to make sure that I'm staying interested in what's in my project. So to me, that means variety. Now we're gonna go into the star of the show, which is Luscious. I'm gonna use a pinched fluffy brush to be picking this up today, just because I find that it helps with texture. So I am starting this in about the middle part of my lid and then working my way forward. This is such a pretty, kind of like a champagne and a taupe had a baby. That's how I think of it anyways. I just think it's so pretty. I can't believe that I still love it. It's still performing just as well as it ever did. I'm watching really closely for pan. It could happen today. Isn't that pretty? All right, I can't pretend like it didn't happen. I hit pan, there it is right there. So this puppy's gonna be rolling out. And then for an inner corner highlight, I'm gonna go into that gold shade from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm so excited I hit pan on that shade in Sweet Peach because that was my goal, or is my goal, before we update again in July for 21 pans in 2021, is to hit pan on that shade and hit pan on a shade here in the Charlotte Tilbury palette, and then, you know, be able to roll new shadows in. I will roll a new shadow in probably for the Sweet Peach palette before we update, just because we only update every other month. So if I hit pan on something in between those updates, I don't wait for the next update because it could be 2 months, you know? So I don't know about you guys, but I really like this eye look. I've been doing a lot of versions of this eye look, you know, over the last few months with working on these shades. So I don't know what I'm going to add in next, if I'm being honest, but it probably won't be a brown or a cream or like a champagne-y lid shade. I want to do something different. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop off of here really quick and do some liner, mascara, and then I will be back and we'll do a Project Pan lip. Okay, we are back. This is the current state of affairs. I don't know. I feel like my complexion looks a little lacking. Let's pull out some Tarte Park Ave Princess and warm things up a little bit. I feel a lot of times like when I look at myself in the viewfinder or whatever and I feel like my makeup doesn't look quite done, I feel like 9 times out of 10 bronzer will fix that. So I usually start there. I also feel like I want a little bit more blush, so why not pull out the Tarte Party? This is what she looks like. I am so close to hitting like side pan down here, so I've kind of been working toward that goal unofficially. And I'm just gonna pink up the apples. See? Oh, so much better. And that's why I love layering blushes. I don't necessarily always layer 3 blushes like I did today, but I typically will layer one of the cream blushes with a powder blush, whether it's that one or a different one like in Shop My Stash. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Milani Understatement lip liner in the shade Nude Entrance. And then the lipstick that I'm panning currently is MAC Velvet Teddy. This is a mini. Looks like so. And I'm just gonna apply this. And then to cheat a little bit because, you know, I can. It's my channel. I'm just kidding. Hannah Louise posted and made me buy this. It is the Tower 28. This one has a different name. Shine On Lip Jelly in the shade Magic. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. I got this in the mail. It arrived yesterday and I am obsessed. And it's mostly like a golden shimmer, but it just makes your lips look juicy. And I think it's gonna be fun for summer. So that was my little detour from Project Pan. But otherwise, this is the completed look. The hair doesn't look fabulous, but she's still drying and I have another video to film. So I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. But I hope you guys enjoyed peeking into my Project Pan basket o makeup and just seeing, you know, a little bit of progress, hearing some of my thoughts on where I'm at with certain products. I think it's always fun to sort of touch base with you guys. We do these videos, my girl Angela and I, every other month on the opposite months from when we update our 21 Pans in 2021 project. So if you're new here, you can expect these types of get ready with me's every other month. So let me know down below, what are you panning right now? What are some of your thoughts? Do you want to update us on how things are going? Do you have questions for me or anyone in the comments as to how to make a project pan product work better for you? Work smarter, not harder, so to speak. And, you know, thank you. Thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me today. I always appreciate each and every single one of you. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't done that already. And I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful project pan makeup days. And I will see you in my next video real soon.